Welcome to Champion Your Culture, the podcast, a weekly live show where we explore the power of culture and leadership in business. I'm Ryan McCarty.
And I'm George Rogers, and we go live every week to learn from each other and hear from other experts about how to effectively champion our team members and ourselves. So join us live every Wednesday on our social networks or subscribe. You can listen to Apple, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Now, let's champion your culture.
Look down.
Look down.
You know, I need to look down because every time I look up, I spill my coffee. Yo.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for joining us once again. Ryan McCarty, George Rogers here on Champion Your Culture, the podcast sponsored by Culture of Good. Ryan,
the only culture of good.
The only culture of good. The culture of good.
Yeah, I saw another company has like Culture Good candles, man.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what's up with that.
It doesn't smell good.
Those are not our candles. Let me tell you.
Come like the candles.
Yeah, that we'll go back to the candles when I talk about craziest shit in HR later.
Oh man,
yeah, just remember lighting a candle.
Light a candle.
Yeah,
all right,
for sure.
That's interesting.
Or use some Febreze.
Use it. Spray it.
Oh yeah.
If you lay it, spray it, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what we're kicking off our Wednesday hump day.
Yeah.
On a Wednesday,
yeah. We're thinking about maybe the first of the year kicking it to another day of
making
the
some
week.
changes. That's the secret around us. The rumors. There's some rumors going around about me and you,
and maybe moving to Monday. I don't know that song.
About me and you.
I don't remember that song.
You gotta get a little country in your life, bro.
I was
get a little country-fied.
That sounded a little bit like R&B, to be honest with you. You were adding that smoothness to it.
Yeah, I don't know about all that. That was flat as heck, but thank you for the compliment.
Right.
I appreciate
how your voice goes higher.
You need to get new headphones, my brother. When you listen to this afterwards and it's on Spotify,
it's going to be
or
really
Google Play or Apple. Yeah, it's going to be like, what in the world was that screeching? Yeah, so you'll get that. I prefer you a little bit.
The applause doesn't stop. You have to stop it.
Give it to me.
You are great.
Give it to me.
You are great.
How's your week going?
It's good, man. We had a loss in the family, which is always tough because you carry that kind of emotional reality with you everywhere you go. But everybody's holding up good, and that's why we want family to belong to and to support each other. Other than that, yeah, it's been good. It's hard to think about the end of the year.
Yeah,
it's weird because it's just another, it's like, I know it's kind of the end of the year and there's reporting and people are like, it's crazy time at work right now, but business keeps going.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like
there's
life keeps happening.
There's no end where you get to pause
end
and
of
stop.
the year. It's like a transition time.
Yeah, time keeps on going. That's one of my biggest.
Keeps on
ticking,
slipping.
I'm saying ticking,
slipping away. I guess I go a little high too when I sing.
Yeah, you do.
I have to be high when I sing. It's the only way it sounds good.
In your head.
Only in my head, yeah.
My head. Every time, I got a song for every word that we have, bro. It's weird.
It is weird.
We can sing. We can be like the singing podcast.
Just sing the whole podcast.
Sing the whole podcast. When there's a word that pops up, you just have to sing it.
Yeah, that's cool.
It'd be kind of a challenge.
Yeah.
How many songs can we find with the 6 things that we're going to be sharing today?
I don't know. If it comes up,
it comes up naturally. But yeah, I don't know if we want to.
We're going to sing anyway.
Yeah, it's going to happen naturally.
So how was your week?
It was a roller coaster.
Yeah.
It was holidays are a struggle. Thanksgiving was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to my wife and my cousin Martina. I had 2 different plates of dressing, so I was dressed up.
You got all dressed up.
Yeah, I got a lot of dressing. I still got a little bit left. And that's the thing. I don't. How long is it? How long is too long?
How long is dressing?
Yeah, how long is too long? You know what I'm saying? How long is too long for leftovers?
I saw.
This is the only season of my life where like leftovers last longer than they probably should.
Yeah,
but as long as it's moist and it's not dry.
Yeah, it's still good.
Pause.
You've got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna tell you what it is, man. You can freeze that stuff for a really long time.
Yeah.
I saw a meme where a dad was coming out and the daughter's all excited about Christmas dinner, and he's bringing all the leftovers from Thanksgiving out of the freezer and thawing them out.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot. We had a lot of leftovers, man. And then of course, you know the meme where the lady starts singing "Surprise, surprise, surprise, surprise." He's bringing out the leftovers from Thanksgiving for Christmas dinner.
Yep.
The Qatar literally said that this week. She's like, "Can we freeze this dressing?" I'm like, "I think you can, but anytime I freeze leftovers, I never go back to them, man. I got frozen chili in my freezer from like 2 years ago."
Yeah, Kenneth said, and I appreciate everybody watching us live on social media right now, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I appreciate everybody out there. Kenneth said, as long as it doesn't turn into a scientific project.
Yeah. On its own, organically.
Or penicillin. My grandpa, shout out to grandpa, he would always say, a little molding or hurt you, it's just penicillin.
Yeah, it's true.
But we throw that stuff away.
Yeah, I think mold. Yeah, I don't think mold's the best thing to eat, but I don't know. I'm sure we've eaten enough mold in our lives, man.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then, of course, I went up to Michigan.
For
the game, the biggest rival,
Ohio State.
Michigan and Ohio State.
Rough day.
Shout out to the Gersteins. I think I'm saying it right. Lovely family. A good friend Evan. Evan's marrying into the family.
Nice.
Cousin Allie. Adopted family that just kind of joined in, and Evan and his family allowed a Buckeye in their suite, and they treated me really well, man. They treated me good. They fed me good.
That's good.
They helped me mourn. The loss. They weren't jerks. I met a few fan bases that can be horrible.
We won't bring up Michigan State fans.
We won't bring up Sparty fans. We won't bring up certain other colleges, but there are a lot of beautiful fan bases out there. Now, some fans, you always have it, just like in the family, you got that one uncle or aunt that you just kind of like, man, I hope they don't show up today because
Junebug.
Junebug.
Yeah, right. We call him Junebug here.
So, Junebug, there was a few Junebugs up there. But overall, it was pretty cool place. The campus, I can say it's not my favorite campus I've been on. Oklahoma and Nebraska, probably my top 2 campuses.
Okay.
The facility was very nice. They did some renovations, so it does look nice.
Yeah.
And that's about all I can say that's nice about them. I don't want to get too many compliments, but I will say on camera, congrats to the Michigan Wolverines. 3 years straight. Now, it may be an asterisk by it. Supposedly it may be vacated, but the reality is the boys play football on the field, and one team won and one team lost. I don't know how it can be
evacuated, man.
Or whatever the Spygate
taken away.
Spygate. A lot of cheating. Every college team out there cheats to some extent.
Apparently, I didn't think Notre Dame did, but I guess they do.
And Michigan get caught somehow.
The touchdown Jesus. His eyes are video cameras, man. They're seeing everything.
Interesting.
Yeah. Watches every play.
That makes me nervous because I've done some things in front of touchdown Jesus.
Oh God. Haven't we all? Eating some nasty hot dogs for sure.
Yeah. We'll leave it at that. But it's been an interesting week. But it's been good. Went to the Colts game. Colts got a win. So I was able to move along. It was kind of bittersweet because Saturday the Big Ten Championship is also in that same facility, and I was hoping to be there.
Yeah.
But my team's not going to be there, unfortunately. But maybe we can sneak our way in. Michigan and Georgia wins. I'm a Louisville fan this week. Hopefully Florida State loses.
Yeah.
Although I got a good friend, Kaz, who loves Florida State. So what?
So you got all these teams that have to lose at this
point. We need Washington to win.
Yeah.
We need Louisville to win. And probably Georgia. Then the doors are open. We're number 6, so we just need a couple of losses this week and we'll see.
Yeah.
The thing about Ohio State is that they move the needle on TV.
Yeah.
And that usually gives you a little bit of an edge.
Right.
And this is the last year for 4 teams. Next year, there's no question.
Yeah.
Top 12, top 12 will go in. And we always are consistently 6 to 8, worst case scenario 8. But we move the needle. There's a lot of Buckeye fans out there, especially Arizona and California, Nashville, Tennessee, and the South. We're everywhere. Biggest fan base out there. Go Buckeyes.
I would imagine so.
I'm a Buckeye till I die. It happens. Can't win them all.
I don't hate the Buckeyes,
but that's the one game we can't lose.
Nah, that's the one you got to win. Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
but it's great. So at the end of the year, there's a lot of great things that happens. I'm excited in the next couple of weeks. Next week, I got a good friend Ben in a couple of weeks coming from Fama. I'm excited about that. We got, I think the 20th is the date.
Yeah.
Our final podcast of the year.
Of
Now
the year.
we'll
We
have some
take a
things. We'll
couple
have
breaks.
some special videos planned in the meantime. But that 20th
Yeah.
is a challenge
Yeah.
between me and you.
Okay.
The best Christmas outfit.
All right.
Now I got one. I'm consistently undefeated with the same outfit. I may change it.
Yeah.
But we're going to celebrate Christmas December 20th. I think that's a good thing to do on the show. Show our holiday spirits. And I can't wait to see what you're wearing.
Oh man.
I know it's going to be fun, but December 20th.
December 20th.
Everybody, December 20th, put on your favorite Christmas outfit.
Yeah.
And send a picture.
Yeah.
Send a picture of your Christmas outfit.
We'll definitely be wearing something crazy.
We'll have some fun stuff with it. And it'll be fun, man.
That
I'm
sounds
excited.
good,
So
man.
this is a cool season. We got 5 or 6 weeks left.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Today is
Transition.
episode 74. Bro.
74.
Yeah.
That is that's a lot.
That's an accomplishment.
That's a consistency.
Yeah. We've been going over a year,
Yeah.
you know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Every week. Pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
I think we've had a couple weeks.
There was a few.
where
There was a cruise that was a 4-minute show. We had the shortest show in the world.
That 4-minute,
The 4-minute podcast where I was on the cruise. Yeah, and I hit the
thought I
wrong
was
button.
on.
You still finished strong. Nobody
Oh,
saw
I was
or heard
going
it.
for it, man.
It was probably our best episode. Best episode that never was.
I was carrying the weight of that one, boy. I was feeling it that
Yeah.
day. I was like, I got to get my notes together on
Yeah.
this one. George jumped off. I was like, I guess I'm going for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you live and learn, and you have to be willing to start from somewhere with something.
Yeah.
And with someone, right?
Yeah.
And that's the idea, is like wherever you're at with the ideas that you have and what you want to produce and create and craft. We talked about crafting your passion into your work and all those kind of things. Like, you really have to start somewhere. I love the idea with the culture work we talk about in leadership, because it's not enough just to simply say we've tried nothing, but we're all out of ideas. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Like, you have to come up with, like, what are we doing toward the end of this year that's going to propel us forward into 2024?
Right.
Because there's no new year, new you. It's either new you or new nothing.
Yeah. New.
You have to choose to be new. You have to choose new behavior, new actions, right? Have like a strategy around it. That's why I love the topic today around checking in with people. And you checked in with me a little bit. How was your week? And sometimes it's that simple. And other times we need to take time with our team members and let them know, hey, this is important toward the end of the year. I want you to know that you're supported, you're heard. I want to know what's going on with your work. We talk about the RSVP, your role, strengths, values, and your purpose, right?
Yeah.
Are you fulfilled in your work? Like, not just is your work fulfilling, but are you fulfilled in your work?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What do you need? You.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the work can be fulfilling, but you're not fulfilled because of what's going on with your role, or you're not living or having the opportunity to really live up to your strengths or your values. And so you could have a sense of fulfillment in your work, but what about the sense of fulfillment in you?
Yeah.
Right. This goes beyond just I'm a human doing to I'm a human being.
Yeah.
Like, how am I being at work? And like, am I bringing my soul to work? And we talk about that a lot with culture. And today's topic I love because we are getting to the end of this year, as you brought up, and it's a good time to check in with our team members. If you're a manager, if you're a leader, you're a boss, a business owner, you have people that are your direct reports, team members that you may not have checked in with them for some time. I always coach my executives and leaders to get out on the floor and talk to people.
Yeah.
Just start talk to more people, go around, and it's more than just shaking hands and kissing babies, you really want to make sure that you're connecting with people on a human level, rehumanizing the business, because that carries the ripple effect of that is massive. When people see leaders connecting authentically with each other and with team members and with others, then that's what's going to be the general culture of the business.
Yeah.
But if leaders are locked away in a business meeting all day long, every day, making decisions that are impacting people's lives, and they're not connecting with the people that they're impacting, then what we have is a recipe for distrust and skepticism and disconnection.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
If we want connection, we have to connect. If we want trust, we have to trust. If we want authentic, true community, we have to foster that as leaders. And that's why we talk about being the champion of that in our work.
Yeah. It's imperative that leaders recognize the importance of that too, especially as they're dealing with their team members.
Yeah.
We talk about, obviously, with the loss in your family. And obviously this is a year, starting in November, even October, where it's a struggle for me with losing my sister, and then having Dexter. This is a meaningful time for him, but also a celebration of her life and a remembrance, but also just kind of the struggle of, hey, this is kind of the season where everything happened in our life forever changed in 2016.
Yeah. And
so sometimes those end of the year reviews, I remember as a leader, sometimes I feel like it was more for me. Like I got more out of it spending time with my team members. When I felt like I was initially going for them, it was healing for me through that process.
Yeah.
I found joy in that because of their stories, things I'd never realized was happening. You talk about RSVP, and we go through those things, quarterly check-ins with your employees, with the whole thought process of, if you don't check in, employees would check out.
Right.
But the impact that it makes, that connection, when you want to talk about a true fundamental way to connect with your employees, beyond just the systems and processes. And I'm not talking about checking in with them to see what the progress is. I'm saying checking in with them to see how much they're going through, showing that you care for them. And that impact is so vital, because it's just those small things. You find more out when you slow down and say, it's not about work. I just want to know how everything, let's have a moment of fun. Or, hey, I heard that you like to do such and such during Christmas time. I had an employee that loved toe socks, and the only time they will wear them is Christmas.
What are they?
Toe socks.
What are toe socks?
It's socks that
just go on your toes.
It's like got little toes.
What are you talking about?
I'm gonna wear some. Don't come in here. So
wait a second.
Of mine is I love toes socks. I actually have.
I thought you were about to say you love toes. That's a whole nother episode.
that's
one we. That's
late at night
craziest
episode.
shit in HR. Yeah,
that's a late at night talk show.
We should do an after show topic.
Culture
after
culture
dark.
In the dark.
After dark. Champion your culture after dark.
Yeah, after dark. No, but so toes, it's like normal socks, but you never really seen toe socks.
No, I get it.
So it's normal socks, but they go toes. Kind of like gloves.
I was
for toes.
confused. I was thinking you had 10 little socks that you put on each toe.
No, those are different things. Those are wah, wah, wah.
Another time.
Yeah, that's a word for another time. HR is literally on the other side of the wall here.
It really is. Yeah,
it's kind of fun. So shout out to the HR round room. There, I don't want to end up there at the end of the year. It's not a good time.
You're not talking about toe koozies. You're talking
not toe
about
koozies. That's a good word.
Toe socks. Okay,
but
no,
you learn more. You learn more.
But why do you like toe socks? Because they don't keep your feet as warm, right? Because don't you need your toes together to stay warm?
That's what people think. But are your hands together?
Yeah, if you wear mitts, I like mitts, dude.
Yeah. You look like a mitten type of guy.
I like mittens, man. Yeah. It is. It's nice. Mittens are nice because I don't know. I think they're warmer. Yeah.
I
have separation anxiety.
Like keep things together.
Yeah.
But so that's important. So as I was saying, it's, having, for me, check-ins at the end of the year is a reminder for me, number one, to lead by example, because I want to be, I want that personally.
Yeah.
I want somebody to be encouraged enough, or to be that light in the middle of my life, to care enough to just to say, George, not how are you doing, but George, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like saying what's common in a non-common way.
Yeah.
Is so impactful.
And instead of just saying how you doing, it's kind of like a high pass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like having that moment. And so when we're talking about check-in at the end of the year, we're not saying checking in and let's talk about the progress of your work and responsibilities and duties. We're saying, hey, listen, this is a holiday season. A lot of things are going on with a lot of people. Mm-hmm. And I just want to let you know I care. I want to thank you for every ounce of sweat, blood, tears that you put into this organization.
Yeah.
The frustration, the smiles, the laughs. and just have a good time with your teammates. Because if you always have that serious conversation, we talk about this a lot. If every meeting is a serious meeting,
Right.
why do I want to meet with you again?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so having that opportunity where you can show them what we like to talk about, transformational, that transformative power of embracing
Yeah.
each other,
Yeah.
and between work and just life,
Yeah.
right? And so having that and leading by example, being human, checking on the person's well-being.
I mean, that's the thing, right? To your point earlier, you said someone when you speak to again, because you were talking about end of the year reviews.
Yeah.
And then you talked about that in the concept of it be healing to you as a leader, because you're able to connect on a deeper level. But I think a lot of people, when they're thinking about end of the year reviews, that it is that fear. Right.
Yeah.
It's a fear from a team member that says, okay, what am I going to find out that I'm not good enough, or I didn't hit the mark, or blah, blah, blah. When there's fear around that, then we have to take a step back and say, how are we conducting these reviews or end of the year, whatever you want to call them. We just call it a simple check-in, man. Yeah. And we're checking in on more than just, is this person accomplishing what I need them to accomplish? Now, if they're not, obviously we need to address that, right? Because that's part of the role, RSVP, right? They may not be living up to their strengths. They may not be living up to their values. Do they find that sense of purpose? All of those things. But I want you to speak a little bit, because you were talking about, as a leader, how you found if you connect on a human level, that it actually can bring healing.
Yeah.
Which is really interesting, because we don't talk about,
Yeah.
I mean, who's talking about this stuff,
Yeah.
man? End of year reviews bring healing.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's not possible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, anything's possible,
Yeah.
right? The impossible is possible if you set aside that pride.
Yeah.
And even so much, Ryan, I would say it's not pride in a lot of people's, it's the fear of the unknown, right? The fear of what could happen when I, open myself up. A lot of healing does not take place because we don't want to deal with certain emotions or the uncertainty of those emotions.
Yeah.
Right. And so we tend to cover those things.
Yeah.
In life, and obviously in work. It's one, right? Life is life.
Yeah.
And you have experiences throughout there. Some of those experiences are with family, some of those things are with friends, and then most of those things are with work, right? We're 8 to 12 hours a day is what we're doing here, unless you're working part-time, maybe 4.
Working 9 to 5.
Dun, dun, dun,
Barely
dun,
making
dun,
a
dun, dun.
living. Yeah.
And so, you're doing those things.
Yeah.
And you give everything to work. What is work given to you? And as I was explaining, some of the healing that I received was literally having a conversation with a team member that I had no clue that had experienced similar situations.
Yeah.
And so when I say I find healing in end of the year reviews, is because I want to make sure the purpose, number one, of why I did the reviews is I want to make sure that as they close out the year, that they're personally prepared for what the next thing is. I'm always caring about what is your plan and how can I get you there? Not what is your plan and how can I keep you here?
Yeah.
Because what you compromise to keep, you'll eventually lose.
Yeah.
And I'd rather lose it because I'm blessing it to go versus losing it because I'm trying to hold on to it.
Yeah.
It sucks when you're holding to something that still leaves.
Yeah.
Right. And then your hands are empty with nothing.
Yeah.
And so I always had that. I want to give it away. I want to bless that person to go to the next level of their life, whatever it is.
Whether they stay here,
whether they stay or go, I want to make sure that every ounce of every minute, every second I have with them, I'm giving everything I can so that they can be who they want to be. And my blessings is seeing them do what they dream of doing, whether it's with me or.
And that brings healing too.
That brings healing as well.
Because you're able
it's
to
excitement.
see
It's joy to say, I mean, think about this. We've known each other for 30 plus years.
Yeah.
31 years is where we're at right now.
Yeah.
31 years of my life. And in that process, 15 to 20 of those years, we had limited to 0% conversations in some of those years.
Yeah.
But still, when I saw a book in a Verizon store, that right there, although I was experiencing success in my own personal life, that was a different term of a level of success in my eyes. Author Ryan, the guy that I knew.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so there's a lot of growth in that. Those small things are triggers that says, I still got more work to do, or I still believe.
Yeah.
A dream that I had was writing a book, and it was a 10-year dream. When I met you said, what if you don't live 10 years? Right. That's
Right.
in an empty household. Those are the words that meant the most to me. And it was true. Like,
Yeah.
who says, like out of all the experiences I've experienced in life is short.
Yeah.
And it's
sure
uncertain.
Mm-hmm.
And so having these reviews for me, it helped me embrace and I'll share this. There's a man that impacted my life when we met 2015, 2016. He's out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. His name is Stan the man, Stan Schley. And he had a few stores and ended up merging our stores. He was part of the team. But we created a brotherhood. And one of the things that really stuck with me, and I stole it and made it my own. We always said, inspect what you expect.
Yeah.
And so if I expect life, if I expect joy, if I expect my employees to live this abundant life, I got to inspect what I'm expecting.
Yeah.
Because if Ryan is not living life to the fullest, why is that?
Yeah.
Right. If Ryan is just living life, working, and that's all he's doing, and he's stressed out about it, I want Ryan to be Ryan, not CEO, president, COO, janitor, whatever the title may be. Right. I want employees to live life and have all those things that I desire. Yeah. And if I'm inspecting what I expect beyond just work responsibilities, I'm talking about life, because a better, healthier, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially Ryan is somebody's going to impact the business even more. Absolutely. And so the goal was, how can I make you the best you? Because the best you is going to make the best business.
Team is the best business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how do we become
have a healthy business without healthy people?
Yeah. And so having those things was important to me.
Yeah.
And so for me, having that process of going through those moments brought me healing, because I met people that I was there before. I was going through this, or I just experienced this, and you were going through this. Yeah. Let's walk this journey together. Yeah. Right. So those healing moments for me was because I showed that I cared. Yeah. Authentic. Yeah. No titles, because they don't matter at the end of the day. Right. It's just George and you and me, and we're having that moment. Yeah. And having those moments experience. And you said, George, I can't let my guard down. I know there's a lot of leaders that say, I don't want to get too close to my team because, it separates. And there is a guardrails there. Yeah. But there's a level of respect and honor that you'll have when you honor that person. See, as leadership, we often say, you better honor me, but we don't honor our employees. Right. A lot of times we don't. Yeah. And so having that love, that appreciation, that trust, right, creates those boundaries of respect and honor where, hey, when it's work, it's work. Yeah. And there's a reverence there that I want to respect you as my leader. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, we're human as well. And I know that Ryan respects me as a human, and there's a reverence and honor there. And when you have that unity, that feeling where there's true, genuine care. Yeah. Man, that changes. Culture, that workplace, like to know this. If I needed something, now I may say I need $30,000. Right. Let's be realistic. Yeah. But if I needed $30, or hey, I'm struggling, I know that I'm surrounded with people that if I needed to, you'll be taken care of. I'll be taken care of. Yeah. Well, and that's that support that, or given an opportunity. For. Yeah. Right. There's a door. Hey, I don't have it, but what if we make some things happen? Or, hey, let's sit down and look at your finances and let's see what can be moved, right? Having that opportunity, or hey, I don't know anything about finances. Yeah. Let me get you introduced to somebody that can help you figure out your budgeting so you can do that, right? Yeah. So having those genuine moments with your people, because I don't know it all, but I may know somebody that knows something. Yeah. So I know it all. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's the network of connecting and giving the type of resources that people need to flourish. Yeah. Because sometimes, we get into the whirlwind of work and people end up just going into the default of coming to work, getting the task list done, checking the box, right? Then going home, going back. And it's just we're just recycle, repeat all the time, doing the similar things on a day-to-day. And obviously some of our work looks different from day to day, but at the end of the day, we just get into that motion of just going through the motions, and being able to check in. And so I wanted today to hit on the 6 things that we found to be really important to add into a check-in toward the end of the year. Now, when we talk about RSVP, roles, strengths, values, and purpose, you'll find that throughout
these conversations. But let's go ahead and dive into it a little bit, and then we'll have a break kind of halfway and do some craziest shit in HR real quick. All right. Is that cool? All right, sweet. So number one, what we want to think about is reviewing or bringing up accomplishments and milestones, right? This is important because we want to kind of review the individual accomplishments and recognize their hard work and dedication that it took to reach those milestones and those goals, and discuss how those successes can be a springboard for future objectives, right? So when we think about the check-in toward the end of the year, we're not just checking in to say, okay, as we talked about earlier, it's the end of the year, we got to close out well. What we're really doing is we're starting well. Right. You know, we're springboarding. So what are we springboarding off? So, you know, what we can do is send this list out to our listening. If you're listening today, or maybe you're listening another day on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, you can always listen that way as well. We'll send this list out and make sure that if you're interested in it, just ping us and let us know. We'll direct message you with this whole list. But you know, we also add in some conversation starters along with this, but how important is it to know what we've actually accomplished, right? It's like, it's really important to be able to say, here's what we got done.
Right.
And because we got that done, how do we then utilize that as a springboard for the future? So a simple way is just saying, let's take a moment to look back on all that was accomplished and incredible things that you've done this year.
Yeah.
Can you share what you feel was your greatest accomplishment and why?
Yeah. I think when you ask that, right, you're putting the ball back in their court, because you may have something that says, you know, I remember this moment. Now let's reverse it again and say RSVP. When you have quarterly check-ins, you're noting some milestones, right?
Yeah.
Writing down as a leader, making sure you're highlighting and recording these milestones, so that at the end of the year, when you're doing these accomplishments and milestones, you know, check-ins at the end of the year, you can say, hey, quarter one, you did this, quarter two,
it's easy to forget what people
because
actually get done.
365 days, 240 days you're probably working.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. So really recording, making it an importance, because at the end of the year, hey, Ryan, what did you do? What's your individual? What do you feel like?
Yeah.
And then as a leader, be able to come back and say, that is awesome. I remember that, but I also remember quarter one, you did this, quarter two, right? What does that look like?
Yeah.
That looks like a leader that really took time to think about what I was
to remember, which means that my contribution throughout the year mattered.
Yeah.
And it was prioritized and significant enough that my leader took note of it.
Nope.
And I've always heard that if it's not written down, it's not communicated. Yeah. And the reason why, not just in the moment, but when we write things down, it gives us the opportunity to communicate on a deeper level. One thing that I, with coaching clients that I have with my executive coaching, I have them many times that if their values accomplishment, we focus on what am I about to accomplish?
Yeah.
And so recently I had a client sit down and write down their top 10 accomplishments over the last 3 months.
Yeah.
And that practice of doing that was eye-opening to them, because they felt like they weren't getting anything done. And when they sat down and actually wrote it and looked at the piece of they were pretty amazed at what had been accomplished. And I think starting the year of 2024 from that perspective, rather than feeling like, okay, here's what we didn't get done. Here's what, you know, obviously we want to be real about it, right? Here's what we hope to achieve. Here's what we didn't achieve. But what was your greatest accomplishment, and how did that give you that sense of feeling of pride, and why? You know, I think that's important. Second thing, the challenges and learning points. Reflect on hurdles faced and how they were overcome. Encourage an open dialogue about what was learned about these experiences and how that knowledge can be applied moving forward. Again, what was learned about the challenges, not just accomplishments, but what were the challenges that you faced? You know, where are we at with that? You know, we at Culture of Good have some challenges around, like, how are we getting people to our 2-day certification, January 23rd and 24th? That's the plug, y'all. January 23rd and 24th, we need to we want those that care about culture and people to come for our 2-day certification with the workshops and getting certified as a culture champion, right?
Yeah.
But some of those, it's still a challenge. So what are we doing about that? Well, we have a strategy session this afternoon, right? We're going to be going through a lot of that. But how can that be addressed as we're moving forward? How can the knowledge that we applied when we did overcome challenges, not only what challenges were we not able to overcome, but what challenges did we overcome and what did we learn about that? Because sometimes we don't apply the same type of effort in the same way when it was valuable to do so in another scenario, and we don't do it in this situation that we're facing collectively today. So how are we thinking about the future and what we learned and how we can apply that toward 2024?
Yeah, I mean, great leaders in the midst of challenges adapt.
Yeah.
Right. And so how are you adapting to those things, and how did it shape your approach, for work and work to come? That's one of the key things, is that we're all going to face challenges because there's so much uncertainty, challenges of, hey, are we meeting budget? We're under budget. Are we meeting goals? Are we not meeting our goals? Why are we not meeting our goals? Are we able to create opportunities, in the midst of these challenges? And so recognizing those, but able to look back at those as well, to say, hey, we didn't conquer this challenge. This challenge kind of conquered us. Those are realistic things.
Yeah.
What did we do?
What did we learn?
What did we learn?
And how is that going to shape how we approach work this next year?
Right.
Because that's one of the questions that we would ask, right? Is like, what was the most valuable lessons you learned from the challenges that you overcome, or maybe some of the challenges that you face that are still challenges? And how is that shaping your approach to work in 2024? And learning that from that team member, because that it collectively talks about how to face the stresses of work, right? What do we learn? So that's not about, we didn't lose anything, and it wasn't about failing. It was about what did we learn through that process, and how do we grow from it, and what do we do moving forward differently?
Right.
I mean, that's it, man.
Yeah.
That's that development that people are so hungry for.
Yeah. And I'm a person that's, we talk about celebrating failures early in the year. Celebrate those challenges, whether you conquered them or they conquered you.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, we faced this. We're still here.
Yeah. We're still here. We're still kicking.
Here. Yeah. We're going into 2024. We're going to face more challenges, but what can we do?
Yeah.
How can I be a better leader? How can I be a better manager of our systems and processes through those challenges? Give me a feedback, right? We talk about constructive feedback versus constructive criticism. When I'm giving feedback, it's a two-way road. It's just not a one-way street where we're just, hey, this is my way, no highway options. No, this is the culture way, right? When we talk about feedback within Culture Good, it's the Culture Good way.
Yeah.
There's no other highway options, right?
Right.
It's just what we do. It's who we are, and how we live, and our very essence of what we want to see come to life and fruition with the rest of our team and those organizations that we're working with. And so what does that look like for us, right? How can we be better together? We win together, never lose alone.
Yeah.
What are those next steps and processes?
So you brought up feedback, which is really the third thing. So we talked about accomplishment milestones, challenges, and learning points, and then feedback and insights, right? Exchanging feedback about performance and about leadership, right? Your leadership, what some people would call a management style.
Yeah.
Right. Managers, leaders should seek insights into what support the team needs, what your team member needs, ensuring that employees feel heard and valued. Right. So we have to understand that constructive feedback is a two-way street. Constructive criticism is a one-way street. That's one of the differences. So feedback allows for us to be able to say, hey, I'm also wanting to understand not only from your perspective how the year went, what's something that we did well as a team, what's something that we could do better, but also what about me as a leader? How could I lead you better?
All right.
How can I lead you better?
Yeah. Because people change, right?
Yeah.
George, you've become, if what we do,
this is the role piece, the R piece of RCP.
It's the role. I've changed as an individual. So now at this stage of where I'm going into 2024, what I needed in 2023 won't work.
Right. What got me here won't get me there.
Exactly.
Because I have new objectives. I have new goals. I mean, if anybody is within any type of company that's progressive or growing,
Yeah.
constant change.
Yeah. It's the final step of self-leadership.
Yeah.
Who do you want to be when you get there? You're
Yeah.
acknowledging that.
Yeah.
You're different than who I am today, number
Yeah.
one, right? So who do you want to be when you finally get there at the end of the year? Who do you want to be? Are you that person? And if so, what does it look like next year? Because some things have changed. Let's get to that next level. Let's get to the next step. So having those feedback, having the insights, exchanging it, right? Not just on performance, not just on management style, but changing, like personally, family. You may have had a kid.
Yeah.
You may have lost a kid out of your house, and now you don't have any kids in your house.
Yeah.
You know, what are some changes?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily, do you need more time? You're going to have some flexibility at home.
Yeah.
Then you're going to be able to work at home a little bit more because you're able to focus a little more. Can we talk about hybrid or flex work?
Does this work?
Because you don't have distractions.
Yeah. Does work
right?
work for you?
Does work for you? Like what can I do to better serve you so that you're mentally where you need to be, your well-being is good? And how does that look within the structure of our organization and business?
Yeah.
Right. How does that impact it?
And that's the feedback and the insights too, is like looking back over the year and saying like, what did you see throughout the year that, you know what I'm saying? Like learning. And this is where I'd like to bring up the idea of active listening. Because if we're not actively listening, which means more than just saying something based on what I just heard. A lot of times with listening, what we do is we hear the person talking, and as they're talking, we're thinking up answers. We're trying to be a leader. We're trying to be inspirational. We're trying to be whatever. But the greatest leaders are the greatest listeners. The ones that are able to sit down with someone and listen to their feedback, listen to their insights, learn from them. You know, as a parent, I found that the older my girls had gotten, the more valuable their feedback and their insights were.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because and it wasn't that their feedback wasn't important at 6 years old.
Yeah.
But as they got older, I learned how to listen better. And we can listen better. And learning how to actively listen, where we're in the moment with the person and we're hanging on every word, and we're listening to not only what they're saying, but their body language. You know, because I mean, let's be honest, man, when we're meeting with people, sometimes they want to paint everything all rosy, but you can see that stuff's going on. All right. So let's stop this charade and let's be real.
Right.
All right. And that's that piece of the feedback and insights. How important is it, before we take this quick break, how important is it to create an environment where people feel safe to give you feedback?
I mean, if
they get cut off all the time, you know what I'm saying? Like when they're getting feedback and they're being told they're an idiot.
Yeah.
I've had leaders call people idiots and stuff before, man. And you're just like, well, you know, you hired them.
Keeping it real. When keeping it real goes wrong. Future episode in 2024, keeping it real goes wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, having that safe environment. Why do people not talk and share their themselves with their leaders?
Yeah.
It's a lack of trust.
Well, absolutely.
It's a lack of knowing the outcome is going to be beneficial.
You know what a lack of trust is?
What's that?
It's a lack of leadership.
Yeah.
Because where there's authentic leadership, there will always be authentic trust. That's just what it is. So when companies are like, we need to build trust here.
Yeah.
What they're saying is we need to build leadership.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard that?
Anyway,
is it time?
Yeah, it's time. This is going to be Crazy as Shit in HR, brought to you by the Culture of Good. All right, you ready for this?
I think I'm ready.
Dr. Melanie Peacock, founder of Double M Training and Consulting, recalls an incident where she had to speak with a lawyer about his cleanliness habits. This individual liked to take long runs at points during the day and therefore kept a change of clothes in their office. All right. So this is about hygiene.
Okay.
Sounds okay, but this person decided to leave their used underwear in desk drawers, which various employees had to regularly access. This meant that whenever staff went to retrieve paperwork, they were met with an unwelcome and often odorous surprise. Surprise, surprise. Having to talk to the employee and ask them to stop using their drawers for their drawers was both an uncomfortable and frightening experience. In HR, the scary truth is often stranger than fiction. Perhaps this all boiled down to a new definition of legal briefs. So there you go. Using the drawers for your drawers, my friends. That is the craziest shit in HR. Yeah. So legal briefs.
Yeah. That was yeah, that's an interesting one.
Just leaving underwear and drawers.
Sometimes I wonder, like,
What are people thinking?
where did this habit start? Like, what goes through a person's mind? Because we've had a lot of crazy
Shit in HR, but nobody's
moments.
leaving underwear in drawers, man.
But that's, yeah, I mean, we've literally had people pooping and wiping their poop. I mean, we've had a lot of
There's
crazy
all kinds
stories.
of crazy shit that we've heard, but this is a big one. It's a weird one.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's just something they're into. I don't know.
You know, once again, I'm pumping up a future podcast, but there is some software out there, background check that can help you find these type of people.
Yeah.
Before you hire those type of people. We're gonna be talking about that, bringing on the right people.
I don't know if we.
I don't want to.
I don't know if you can background check whether somebody hides underwear.
I guarantee you that dude has social media posts about that. 100%. He's taking pictures. She's taking pictures.
Oh yeah.
It's plastered on something.
Yeah.
His Facebook is probably filled with just under
That
a
is
sponsorship
really
type
hilarious,
posts and memes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can get away from that.
That's great.
You look up, yeah, he's definitely got a history. You just don't wake up one morning and be like, oh, I'm gonna do. Oh, let me do it again.
Yeah. It's
Like,
pretty rough.
The Energizer Bunny of leaving your underwear in the workplace.
Yeah. If you keep doing it, what is it? If you keep hiding your underwear in the same drawers, you keep getting the same smells.
I've never heard that.
I don't know.
I put mine in the dirty clothes basket.
Yeah.
That's like one thing that doesn't belong. I strongly dislike college students that don't become adults.
Yeah.
And put their clothes in the dirty clothes basket.
Oh yeah.
Like I have a friend
Just throws it on the floor.
right beside the basket. Like,
What?
it's not like you're shooting and you miss, and so you don't pick it up. You're just getting in the bed. It's like just gets undressed right there.
That's weird.
Yeah, it's different.
It's what we call a basket.
And then when it's
That's
time to
what
do
we call
laundry,
a-
it goes in the
That's
basket.
what we call a basket case. Anyway,
That's crazy.
yeah.
So as we're going on, we got what, three more?
Three
We're
more
gonna be sharing
real quick,
three more. I'm interested in those who are watching or listening to us today. And I would love for you to comment, throw it in the comments, because I'm interested. If there is one question, and I want you to think about this too, Ryan, as we end, I want you to answer this. If there's one question you would want your leader to ask you at the end of the year, what's that one question that you just wish, in a review standpoint, maybe it's something that shows that they care, but what's one question you wish that your leader would ask you?
Are we paying you enough? I've already got
That's your answer. So if you would drop your answer out, and if we get to them in time, if we see them, we'll put them up on the screen and kind of acknowledge, hey, here are some top questions, our top answers.
Yeah.
But if you could right now, everybody that's watching us, if you could drop it in the chat. If you're watching a little bit later, delay, I promise. If you put it in the comments, I'll respond.
Yeah.
Whether it's on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. I'll respond to those as soon as possible.
Yeah.
But what's one question you, our audience, wish your leader would ask you at the end of the year?
That's a great question.
Ryan, you said,
Yeah.
am I been paid enough?
That's
a good
paying
question.
you enough. Yeah. I mean, I would love my leader to ask me that.
That's awesome.
That's usually not one that they're going to bring up.
Yeah, they don't want to talk about that at the end of the year.
Well, this is one, and this is number 4 in the questions that were asked, or as far as the topics, is about career development or career aspirations and skill development. Because that's what we're talking about, right? Is like discussing each team member's career trajectory and aspirations, managers, leaders checking in about professional growth, about desired skill development, opportunities for advancement around the company. Just simply say, let's talk about your professional journey. What are your career aspirations for the coming year, and how can I support you in achieving them? It's exactly what you talked about, right? Not just saying I'm trying to develop you to keep you here, but I'm developing to get you to where you want to be.
Right.
And that idea around career aspirations, like what's an aspiration you have around this coming year? What would you like to see? What skills do you would you like to be developed in? right? A lot of times we kind of pre-prescribe for our team members and say they need these 10 skills, right? We've worked with companies that kind of predefine that, but asking the team member, what skills would you like to grow in, right?
Yeah.
It could be something with software, it could be soft skill around active listening, like we talked about, right? Yeah. It could be that they want to grow as a mentor, that they have a passion toward that. We talked about that in the crafting your passion into your work, and maybe they want to grow in their mentorship and they want developed in that area. It could be that they want to grow in a position, right?
Yeah.
What are they aspiring for? If you don't know what they're aspiring for, they're going to share what they're aspiring for to a new employer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because if to your question that you were going to ask at the end of the year,
yeah,
if I feel underpaid,
yeah,
and there's no growth plan for me too,
right,
people are checking out.
Yeah,
even if you check in with me, if you're not asking the right questions, because let's think about this, and this is why we say it's important to really know your team and have these quarterly check-ins, because showing that you care, which you should,
yes,
right, you should genuinely care about your people. But showing that you care is so impactful, because if you don't ask the question, they're not even going to give you the question for you. They're not going to say, hey, this is something that's important to me. Because after every review, after every situation, hey, does anybody have any comments or questions?
Yeah.
When you get zero from the audience, it's not because they don't have anything. They just don't trust you enough to be vulnerable, either with you or in front of everybody that's with them, to ask that question. For many reasons. Don't want to look like a fool.
Yeah.
Right. Know that there's no outcome for it, or it's going to be on deaf ears, because we know that you're not going to do. Yeah. You're not going to pay me more.
Right.
So why do I need to ask that question?
Right.
But if you ask me that question,
as a leader, then it opens that.
It opens the door that says, wow, they're thinking when I'm already been living. Right. And so having that is so important to the process of asking the questions. Ask the tough questions. Now, why do most businesses not want to talk about money?
Yeah,
because they're in the business to keep money and make money.
Sure,
right.
Sure.
But there's some companies out there that definitely take care of their people. And now listen, as we're on this podcast, Ryan and I are not saying this podcast is not for the people, all about the people, where we're saying, hey, it's all about the employees. We know that there's a business side of it too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Trust us, we're both we're both in business to stay in business.
We're trying to figure it out ourselves,
and we're there. But there has to be that communication and an open door.
Yeah.
Right. When we talk about the open door policy, most employees feel like it's a forbidden door.
Yeah. Right.
It's very difficult. But where there's lack of pay, the other side of that, based on Lighthouse Research and Advisory, shout out to Ben,
performance, right?
Lack of performance is that people says, if I'm not being paid my value, the demand is I have to have a growth plan.
Yeah.
Now, if there's no growth plan, then I'm asking for more money.
And I love this idea of checking in around this particular thing, because that's what we're talking about. So not only what aspirations do you have, but what skills do you want to be developed?
What are your strengths?
What are your strengths? Exactly. What strengths, right? And where are you living up to those on, and you can scale those out, right? I do this again with my coaching clients on a scale of 1 to 10. Where are you with that strength? Right? How are you living up to that? Do you feel like you're given that opportunity? The last two things really quick, well-being and work-life harmony, right? There is no work-life balance. We're not going to have 50% work, 50% home. A lot of times we're carrying both into both spaces, right? And so we're looking for that work-life harmony. Is your well-being, because your well-being is a priority to us, have you felt that your work-life harmony this year, or how have you felt about it? And are there areas that we could work on together to improve it?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's better together. What you talked about is reflect. This is a great reflection moment to be able to say, is work-life harmony working for you within your role? Again, it's your role, your strengths, your values, your purpose ties into this, because it's not life and work, it's life.
Yeah.
It all falls under life, and work is a part of that. And so we have to understand that if their well-being is important to us, we want to know what stressors they're facing, maybe for the first time. It could be since the last quarter we checked in with them, there's new stressors.
Yep.
It could be that we're understanding what work-life harmony looks like for them. How do they define it, right? Somebody might define it differently than you would as a leader. And so checking with your team members around that. How can we work together to support it? And what kind of support do you need from the team?
Yeah. That's the good one there.
Isn't
Not
that
just me
interesting?
as a leader.
Yeah.
Because sometimes it's not about the individual support. It's about having that. A lot of organizations talk about the 3 phases of business. There's 3 phases of business.
Yeah.
There's that family phase. You're small.
Yeah.
You're starting up. It feels like a family again. And as you're growing, it becomes less of a family and more of a team. You're bringing in new people. You're losing some of your original people. Oh, we have this team. And then that business where you're scaling and nailing, it's like it's doing great growth.
Yeah.
Business is booming. Everything's great. You still have some challenges, oppositions, opportunities, and all those things. But that's that dominating army. Like we're fighting. There's no stopping
As a
our
large
competition
collective.
as a large collective, right? And so those 3 phases are so good. There's an important part of every business where individuals I don't need my leader.
Yeah.
I need my team.
Yeah.
I need those because everybody's different. Ryan gives me joy. This person got good jokes. This person.
It's not just about the one
love
person.
language.
Yeah,
It's the
leadership
love language
never
of your team.
Yeah, and love and leadership and all those things never rest on one person.
Yeah.
So I do love this idea of bringing the team aspect into it. How can we support as a team your work-life harmony moving into this next year?
Yeah.
Because then the team knows it.
Yeah.
And then they can step up.
Yeah.
Because there may be a team member that for a season they need their team members to step up for them.
Yeah, it's that person that always helps everybody else.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, this question to me, when I think about this question, I think about the people that are always supporting others.
So they get burnt out, man.
And my leader says, what can the team do for you? I'm always helping others.
Yeah.
Who's helping me?
A lot of times, though, if they're that type of helper, they're not going to be able to answer this very well. So
It's
you really
tough.
have to encourage them to take help, because some people are better at giving help than taking. Earlier, you were talking about a company in the 3rd phase that's growing bigger, exponential growth. And that's where Scott hired me to come into TCC, because the greatest risk of a growing organization is you lose what makes you special when you first started.
Yep.
What makes you special is your culture. What makes you special is the essence, your personality, how you function as a team, as an organization. And we always talked about we want to grow bigger, but in order to grow bigger, we also want to grow smaller. So grow smaller as you grow bigger. Focus on the individual, focus on the team, making sure that you have these check-ins in place, because as growth happens, you do lose the family feel. It's gone. There's nothing you can do about that.
Right.
But what you can do is you can provide support at a different level. And that level means as we grow, our team is more diverse. It can support itself in a better way. When you're not growing, it's really hard to find support from the team.
Yeah.
So one of the benefits of a growing organization is that you have stronger teams if you're doing leadership well.
Yeah.
The last thing as we end is all about goals and expectations for the coming year, right?
Yeah.
This is about planning forward, setting clear goals, not random goals, clear goals, not 500 of them either.
Yeah.
What's the top 3 goals of this coming year? Expectations includes alignment for individual objectives and also the team's targets, right? We talk about the team. So how's the individual, the self, team, and business? How's the individual supporting the team goals and objectives? And then how does the team then reach to the business goals, so that they understand, each member understands their role in the bigger picture?
Yeah. Yes, that's important.
Yeah.
The big picture is a key, right? So as we're looking forward, we're saying, hey, what do we look like moving forward? I love this question. Sometimes I would ask this question first. But it's good to be at the end, because after we talk about challenges that we dealt with, right? What are some of the goals, right? I like to ask this question first, because I want to know the goals before everything. Because
Really?
I do, because if I know your goal for 2024, before we talk about challenges, right? I want to know the goal, right? So
you mean the challenges of last year or the
challenges of this year? So I will ask this question first, because we're going to talk about feedback, insight, challenges, and learn points, career aspirations, skill developments. Those things are good. But if I know the goal first, after I ask those other previous, then I'm asking the next 5 questions. And at the end of each one, all right, so as you have this goal for 2024, these are the accomplishments and milestones you had this year.
Yeah. How is that
to
going
get to
help
that
you
goal?
That's
right?
great, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so when you think about those, this is your goal for 2024, Ryan. These are some challenges that we face, some learning points that we face. This is how you can use what you've learned for the next time.
That's great.
I guarantee you, when you're trying to get this goal, and I've been there, or Sarah's been there, or somebody on your team, then you're connecting them to the team. Hey, talk to Sarah. If you ever face it, she had this goal a few years ago. She had this goal last year, right? So you're connecting.
For me, I'm thinking the opposite. I'm thinking doing this at the end. I don't know why. And I'll tell you why I'm thinking this.
Yep.
And I would encourage everybody out there. This isn't a 1 through 6 list. This is just however this works. I totally agree with what you're saying. What about the idea of instead of kicking off on what you're going to get done this coming year? That's what it feels like sometimes. If you're not saying this right, it sounds like, all right, what's happening 2024 right off the bat, instead of doing the reflection.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going AdCar. I'm reaffirming where we are, where we're going, but like knowing where you're going, because we always say, for me as a leader, and this is how I picture, there's no right way, there's no wrong way, there's no right way or George. This is just George's way. Is that if I know where I'm going, I'm then reflecting where I've been. Yeah. And then that helps me to then reaffirm that final direction. Because at the end of all this, I know that I've been connected with where I've been this year with where I'm going. And so just a reminder, so as an employee, I'm writing down, all right, this is the goal. Yeah. This is what I face in 2023. How would that stop me from my 2024 goal? Right. Sometimes people don't know their goals until they go through this other stuff too, because this may be also an opportunity to add some of the strategy and planning and goal setting into this idea, because they may not have goals. Yeah. Which, is a whole nother piece, setting goals, but so true. It's good stuff, man. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. So reflecting on that, reflecting on the goals and expectations for the upcoming year, and then connecting. I think the most important thing is, how do we then connect that and reflect that with the company's vision and goals, right? Making sure the purpose that you have as an individual, how does that align and connect with the company's purpose? You play a meaningful part in the business. And putting together, where do you see yourself and the things that you have? How does that contribution look for you? How does that contribution look for the company? And how can the company then make sure that your goals and achievements come to pass? I think we may have to use some of this for our strategy session this afternoon, man. I think we should go through it ourselves. Yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. Before we end, some questions I asked everybody. We got some people that commented, so I want to shout these people out. What's one thing you wish your leader would ask you at the end of the year? And these are some really good ones. One by Adam, shout out to Adam Whiteman. Once it touches the internet, he said, once you touch it, this is about something else. Once you touch the internet, you ain't getting it back. So be careful what you put out there. Oh, that's true. Miss Frenchie, how does my leadership can be better for you next year? So what can I do? How can I adapt my leadership? Are you different now? Do you like the leadership style, right? Sometimes, some people need to be stern. Some people need to have some empathy. Where are you at? Do you like that? What's working has your language for you? Changed? What's not? Yeah. LaRon, I would like to, if they check in with me mentally. So mentally checking in, asking me, how am I doing mentally? We talked about that with the well-being and work-life balance piece and the harmony that it takes there, having that vulnerability. So having a leader that's checking in with them mentally is important. How can my leadership skills be better next year? We have some of those. There's a couple more. Let me scroll down with it. Rodney on Facebook. What can I do to raise your value to the company? That's really good. What can I do as a leader, Rodney, for you to help you for doing that? And so do you think the management style has helped you raise your values to the company this year? So some really good ones. Appreciate everybody. Adam, appreciate you. Rodney, appreciate you. Frenchie, appreciate you for dropping those around. And everybody else that's out there. I'll personally, individually, if I didn't get yours on the screen, we'll comment and chat about those as well. On there. But appreciate everybody. And if you're listening on Spotify, that question will pop up too, which is really cool. So it will. So we'll appreciate that. Ryan, it's been good, man. I appreciate you. And we're about to end. Well, I do want to mention real quick, December 1st, which is only a couple days away, ends our early bird pricing for the 2-day certification. So if you have any interest in it, you'll want to go ahead and register now. Lock it in. Go on cultureofgood.com. It's on almost every page.
look for the little birdie. That's the early bird pricing. Once that birdie's gone, there's no early bird pricing, and it's like 50% off right now.
Yep. You can see it on the screen right here.
The price is $1,250
somewhere
for the first person that comes from your company or for you, and then any additional is $750.
Yep. That
price doubles.
Yep.
Right. So what we want to make sure is that you get locked in before December 1st. So just wanted to mention that. And always we just appreciate you jumping on.
Yep, we do. We thank everybody for watching us.
Follow, do all the good stuff.
All the good stuff. Thank you for watching Culture Good.
And we'll see you back.
Your purpose.
Yeah.
I'm watching Culture Good. I'm up here thinking they're watching Culture Good. Hey, check out what I was wanting to say is check out allthingsculturegood.com. You can check everything else out there and get more information. So culturegood.com.
Yep.
For all things leadership development.
And we will see you back here next week on
Champion Your Culture.
Hi, friends. Thanks for joining us on Champion Your Culture podcast today.
We're so excited that you're here and want to invite you to connect with us. You can watch the show weekly on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, or LinkedIn, and listen anywhere you get podcasts.
Subscribe today to get new relevant content each week on how to champion yourself and your team. Thanks again for listening to Champion Your Culture.